Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with the coach. Our friend Fatty Cat sends in this question. He says, "Hey Ramsey, I know that bullying in the past was more physical than it was verbal." Oh man, that's so true. Man, back in my day when I was a kid, when I was your age, you young whippersnappers, the bullies used to beat the crap out of us, break us physically, dunk our heads in the toilet, stuff us in the lockers. Even if we were too physically large to fit in the locker, they would find a way. Oh man, it was brutal. It was brutal. The beatings were brutal. Anyway, Fatty Cat says, "I know that bullying in the past was more physical than it was verbal, but from my experience nowadays in high school, it's a lot more verbal and more on social media apps. What advice could you give to navigate these situations when people are bullying you verbally or online?" Well, get offline. Get offline and live in the real world. And you might be thinking that's a dismissive answer. But I'll tell you something. If your connection to the internet is a negative one, sever that connection. If what you are receiving from the internet is putting you in a bad place in life, get off the internet. Get into the real world. If the only power the bullies have over you is through text on a cell phone saying mean things to you, turn off that phone. Delete that app. And you might think, well, can I just block them? Yeah, you can do that too. One thing I enjoy about YouTube and having control over my own channel is that every now and then, not too often, but every now and then, I'll get a really venomous comment from somebody who I can tell they have no intention of any positive interaction with anyone, and they want to get a negative reaction out of me. And when I see that, delete, banned, gone. You have that kind of control over your social media experience. And if you don't, just get off of it. Put the phone down. Man, I wish it were that simple to deal with the bullies back in the day, man. Instead of the school bully and his 15 friends beating me up at lunchtime, breaking my ribs, beating me within an inch of my life and spitting all over me until I was soaked. And this went on and on and on, man. Stealing my shoes. Stealing my shoes, man. That one happened a lot. And I only had one pair of shoes, man. If I could have just turned them off with a button, do you know how quickly I would have done that? Instantly. But if you're thinking it's not that easy, it's because you're suffering from one of two things, or possibly both: an addiction to this social media interaction and a addiction to attention. That may come across as controversial, that you crave the attention of the bullies. You might think, no, I don't want that type of attention. I want a different type of attention. But the fact of the matter is you want some type of attention, because if not, you just turn that damn thing off. Because if you are being bullied and pestered by a bunch of wimps who don't even have the decency to confront you physically because they are cowards, even more cowardly than those guys who were such lily-livered cowards that they had to bring their 15 friends to fight me, the wimpiest, scrawniest kid in the whole school. That's how cowardly they were. But they don't even have the audacity to do that. So instead, they launch silent little bullets at you with their cell phones. hoping to get you in the feels. Urgh. Turn that off. So it's been a long time since I was in high school, man. And I can't imagine what high school would be like with phones now. It's weird, kids having phones. I don't think kids should have a phone. A cell phone, a smartphone. I don't think they should. I think it creates some problems. On a developing brain, to create this dependency, this cybernetic connection, this need for this device, man. That's weird. That's going to do some work on your brains, on your developing brains, which are not even fully formed until around the age of 25, 26. The youth of today are going to be a different type of human being. A very different type of human being. They'll look basically the same as their predecessors, but they won't act the same. They won't think the same, because you've allowed yourself to be reprogrammed in some very interesting ways. My mom used to look at me when I was a kid. I liked to play video games, and she would say, "You better turn that off, you'll get square eyes." And I may be coming across as this old, out-of-touch fogey who doesn't understand modern technology, who isn't with the times. But I'll tell you, from what I do understand about modern technology, is that it can be highly addictive, especially if you are very young. And one thing I understand about internet bullying is that if you do not give them the satisfaction of hearing them out, let alone responding to them, they don't hold any power over you. And that's a much, much easier battle to win than fighting 15 guys with your bare hands who are trying to kill you, which is the situation I had to go to school with every day when I was a kid. Because you couldn't turn that off. I couldn't turn that off, but you can. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train in the real world, my friends.